Okay. To everyone, teacher and classmates. Today I'm going to talk about a mobile app that is for preventing dermatological health. That is also powered by AI, different model of machine learning. Um, well, First to give an introduction to this, I would like to say that I'm very excited to introduce this for the start of my project. Uh, this, for example, this business opportunity is only behind for this business model that is for artificial intelligence. And also this project born because of the key observation or one of the prime objectives that is to democratize skin health through artificial intelligence and being responsible about this for digital innovation and also delivering to the users an essential preventing tool to over millions of people, right? Millions of people that are wanting to care about it, about um, the skincare. Where first, I would like to introduce the first chapter. Okay, starting with the chapter one. Here is, for example, uh, exactly this chapter represents the starting point of our entire idea. Well, this moment, the moment where our motivation and creativity and the purpose that we convert to transform this is to the simple concept that something that is could be an idea, could be tangible. So this probably being something that is very social, meaningful business. So this project, for example, as I mentioned before, was born from a key observation that many people are care deeply about the skin, but also have limited access to dermatological organization, also trying to afford a doctor, well, try to afford a dermatological evaluation. So now, according to the World Health Organization, one of the three people worldwide experience a skin condition. So this makes us a point in life that we have to take probably special care that remains costly or geographically inaccessible for other people. So this challenge also inspired us to the creation of mobile application because in it's in that for everyone. It's also a mobile application by artificial intelligence, as I mentioned before. It's a tool designed to help users to identify a potential skill issue. This means that is a scanner that well, it's a scanner that interprets anomalies from trying to encourage many patients to preventive awareness. So this could be promote more responsible consultation and also trying to reach certified professionals. So now talk about the vision that is, for example, the entrepreneurial mindset that we want to make it. For example, our vision is to make preventing skincare accessible to everyone. This means that anywhere that you're in any device, you will make it through artificial intelligence. So our innovation also lies on the responsible application AI. So using computer models to specialize about CNN is trying to analyze images from of the skin and identify patterns that may indicate irregularities from other datasets. Datasets it means the people or the data that are processed through AI model. So, but unlike of the other products, our key value proposition is that we, like other products, we know that diagnosis, we are not overpromising misinformation. It is not a diagnostical, it's something educational that is preventive. So this means that this social value that we are offering for the products is also contributes to awareness, accessibility, and to probably the users that take early action for it. And also trying to reducing costs, trying to reduce anxiety to many people that are always trying to making have a very issues with the skincare. For example, probably this is something very rare in the year. in their face and trying to Google on Google and trying to figure it out what exactly you want to know. Okay, this application trying to solve it. So uh, the motivation behind of this, well, the ethical motivation, we're trying to adopt a safety by design approach and also trying to look in at transparency, privacy protection. So it's not exactly another diagnostic dimension to ensure responsible use. So our solution, as I mentioned before, is an AO mobile platform. It could be available for Android, Apple. It could be using deep learning to responsible or trying to detect skin anomalies. And also the core problem or our business problem that we are facing is that millions have the lack of access to affordable early skin diagnosis. So trying to monitoring tools or leading to delayed treatment could be probably increasing the cost uh, from this treatment from the skin. So trying to push into our chapter two, we have now the theoretical framework. Now, okay, this talk about a very, for example, theoretical that is, for example, it's computing, but I'm trying to make focuses on that is exactly for this course that is for business. So maybe the main reason that I want to making something point or something probably a call to action is that probably there is an investing focus on, for example, in technological software and artificial intelligence software, also in app development, security, cloud computing, cloud infrastructure, and also trying to make a reduced compiling system. So maybe others are the evaluation type, probably the business flexibility that probably we have flexibility for everything. You have, for example, assessing a profitable and very renewable scalability. For this means that it could it could make it support you a lot of barriers. And also now the private sector and the tech services that it's in the small and medium, but independent yet now costly project for initial range from, for example, 50K to 150K from. This is for example, the capital we make. The capital that all the resources that I search, that I was searching, starting with initial level plan. So we are trying to make it. We are not talking about that because that specifically is our main document. So I would like to talk about that, exactly how to ensure sustainability with this product, how to this could be a scalable opportunity. So this commercial, Mhm. This commercial hand drawing. So to ensure here, um, trying to proving the, for example, legal feasibility is ensured that for companies with data protection, there are also laws that are protection for other people. For example, if we are accessing to skincare protection or we are talking about biomedicine, and biomedicine is also have their own regularities. So the regularities, for example, there are EPA, there are GDPR, that are, for example, protocols that are probably trying to ensure the security of the users. So trying to not make their data sparse from a lot of sources that could be for another purpose. So about economic and financial feasibility, this is supported by scalable income sources and also controlling operational costs, and also uh, an environment feasibility, giving its minimal physical footprint and contribution to a sustainable digital solution. Because when you're trying to making digital solutions, you're not making to making computer science. The computer science also making using the device, and that is what make you really sustainable. So I would like to move to the next part that is about our market study. And first, our market study, I would like to point that this is for the first start. I'm starting this project about 2023 in my first school from thesis. That is for, well, here in my thesis is start from the seminario de tesis here in the university. We take it from that. And that and start continuing from that from 2023 to now, probably in the future, or probably taking from another market context. So now, trying to justify these years, I would like to make a context of this explosive medical uh, health growth. That is, for example, now a lot of people spend a lot of medicine for the skincare. So probably our competitive edge that we want to focus on is the is our ethical artificial intelligence design. So trying to making this more truly well, to have a more trust, or maybe we have a more credibility over the competitors. For example, there are other competitors that we have like Skin Vision, Miss Skin, and Alisa. So here we like to talk about our macro environmentally using a pestle analysis. That, for example, we are, as I mentioned before, there are political, economical, social, technological, environmental, and legal uh, promises that it form from pestle. For example, now from pestle, we have many Latin American governments that are supporting, for example, the digital transformation. For example, here in Peru, we have um, innovación digital para un establecimiento en la formalidad de la economía peruana. For example, that is a project that is made from the for our government. Okay, also not trying to make it our own formalities. No, it is also taking care about these uh, biomedical tools that are starting to face on in our new disruption that we are facing of. So in the part of the economic, here in the PESEL analysis, have the overall are the market also continue to expand rapidly, as I mentioned before with this graphic. This graphic is also taken from another sources that I put in on the document. And now trying to not making this too large from the view that is social, from the pestle analysis, is that society now is becoming more health conscious about their, for example, aesthetic and dermatology care and trying to grow in priorities to among young adults and probably people that are aged from, no, the people that are aged from 80 and 35. So technological, in the part of the technological, we have the advanced in deep learning and also the smartphone sensors are making an American a skin analysis possible. So also this environmental and digital health models also trying to, well, from the part that is environmental, from the pest analysis, we know that digital health models minimize physical travel and carbon footprints. So they're trying to making, for example, a very good sustainability view. So from the legal, now from the last point that is legal, there exists strict data protection laws, as I mentioned before in my, in my theoretical framework. There's a strict data protection that, as I mentioned, that is IPA, for example, the Peru law that is on I think that is from the code that is 2029. So this governed user also, well, this govern use also the privacy and also the responsible communication for this. So now exactly who are our users? As I mentioned before, all the people that, for example, also our research that shows that over the 60% of the smartphone users have downloaded at least one lab. So and around 20% are using AI-based tools, that is, for example, the GPT and everything else. There are also numbers This also numbers proves that users are already engaging with mobile health technology, and also our target market consists on young adults and adults between 80 and 55 years old. So there, for example, urban residents with reliable internet access, with a reliable internet access, sorry, uh, mid to upper middle income groups, also health aware and tech-oriented consumers who are frequently use social media, fitness, and telemedicine apps. Um, Also now that regarding the competition, there are both direct and indirect players. Well, direct competitors also, as I mentioned from the theoretical framework, there is exist applications that use this. For example, there is Skin Vision, there is Miss Skin, there is AISA, there is DermaCheck. That, for example, while this app offers, for example, an artificial intelligence based on lesion analysis, many have a lack of transparency consists of our professional validation. So this means that there are exists, for example, many artificial intelligence that are spam for free for other people, but you don't know exactly what your information are used for or what exactly that documentation that you're sharing. You are not sure where data center or where is belong to be stored. So, firstly, I would like to also introduce our indirect competitors that are telemedicine, skincare, probably clinicals as well. Well, there is exist now telemedicine that have a skincare tracking platform, such as Teladoc, such as Ada Health. So this must be probably could be an influence in our user behavior, trying to providing this, for example, diagnostic support. So here, I would like to say our competitive dimension that I mentioned here in the PPT. That is, for example, we now offering user experience. Well, this user experience that is simple, trustworthy, and is something important. Well, as I refer to the user experience, is how the user interact with an application, how comfortable he is with that. So also we are trying to make him privacy first, close to local data storage and anonymization. It means that we don't uncompromise the security, and we are trying to focus on preventing health literacy. So here is our target market. That is our target our adults that are from, well, all from this market expansion and this global market that, as I mentioned before, our target market now is for tech people, for example, that are adults that are interested in proactive self-care. So here in our second chapter, we give our technological and organizational study and trying to develop our future of the mobile technology. So now, in this section, for example, answers the question of how can this project could be developed. So there are many ways to be implemented. There are could be also management safety and also could be managed responsibly and sustainability. Well, that's sustainability. So let's begin with the technological study. Firstly, I would like to say that our here is to define the resources, the technologies, and the processes that we are necessary to bring the application to life. So trying to making this to burn. So this system is also going to be using a modern programming frameworks such as Python, TensorFlow, and PyTorch. That is, for example, well-known frameworks that are used for artificial intelligence, and also running on from the part of the from the user experience, well, from the user interface, we will have running on React Native mobile applications that are hosted with Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud, and also trying to make it well. This data set, it is from a data set that I make it from Scopus. Well, from the data training also relies on the dramatic images. Well, And now from our capacity to standpoint during the initial MVP, the system also support to, for example, it is focused on support on 100,000 users now because this is the ability of this now today frameworks allow us to take this amount of users that we can be hosted. So this cloud infrastructure that is for cloud, maybe software is scalability and also security. Well, now moving to the legal study, I'm not trying to making this too large. This project is also operated in structure of a limited liability company. Well, this also protects the founders or many other people that or assets, future investment that could be wrong. For example, it is, for example, a trademark that within the copy, another trying to comply with this software regulation under our ISO. ISO are regularities that any kind of software or well, ISO is, for example, a regularity that a company have to make it a standard. So it's some things that ensure you that, for example, your information is secure. So here, finally, let's talk about, for example, well, now moving on to the organization structure. Well, this company will be me about the leadership for Lawson's agile model-led company that is called a CEO, and also trying to coordinate three core areas that is, for example, the AI development, the legal management, and the marketing and UX, as I mentioned before, and the responsible for another communication. For example, the group that are AI development also lead the data scientists and developers. The legal management will be the lawyers or many kind of people who trying to making ethical advisory about this because we are talking, uh, for example, we are talking about that are from protection that is something that people need to be aware of this because this information is very sensitive, but sensible. So this could be encourages to work. So trying to close this chapter, this also demonstrates cool character innovation and transparency. Firstly, I would like to mention before our development timeline that I have very short in this time. That is, for example, that is from this course. We are about from now. That is for 12-month development timeline. First, it is the research of planning that is 1 month. The MVP development that is coming from a FITMA, then a FITMA, then the prototype. From that prototype, we will make the MVP. So the pilot testing that we are trying to facing, we are trying to show on our clients that is our target, that we are target market that we are facing up here. So moving from the last part here from our financial study, viability to trying to making a clear path to be a profitable and social impact. We're trying to making we are trying to making that there is also a code structure that we are trying to tie with a premium subscriptions. Well, this means that um, the purpose of, for example, this chapter is try to analyze the costs, um, probably the outcomes and incomes that we are going to receive, and also the financial indicators in order to determine the project economics. So I would like to begin with the revenue structure, that is the premium model. The premium model will cost $4 to $10. That is not completely defined. I put this range because probably I will take more plan for this. For example, B2B partnerships that is from another income. For example, business to business. That is a project that will also establish alliances with dermatology clinics. It means that any insurance company or clinics or university that require, for example, an institutional access for aggregate data analytics, this partnership also provides an additional and scalable revenue channel. So starting with ethical advertising, The owner responsible for health related is also content, which, for example, such as well, the ethical advertising will be a skincare education or sustainability commission brands that are trying to avoid any conflict or interest. For example, is the only responsible to be related with health. So this basics this 50%. Oh, that is not here. 15%. Oh. Well, now regarding the costs and expenses, fees and also includes in salaries. Also, cloud service licenses marketing also will be a total of 81,000 per year. Also, well, I will mention this short. Our variable costs, such as customer and hosting, will making us, for example, if the data grow too much, will be if we are looking for a legal business, it could be exactly $500 per year. And additionally, administrative and sales expenses, meaning this from this business, there is only around $10,000 per year. So let's now discuss about the cash flow. That, for example, there is our also related with our objective. That is by the end of the our first year, the revenue is expected to be uh, 98, but no, 90 well, 90,000, just about to adopt a call but a year or two, trying to revenue will this cycle. This is only numbers that are, for example, trying to facing, or for example, if we are end up with, for example, 100,000 users, that is probably maybe a good point from start. So this also in these indicators, trying to focus on this project that could be economically capable or trying to sustain to grow and raise investment. So trying to finally with this, from a strategic perspective, well, this project also contributes with global development. In other words, this business also looks for sense economical, technological, and also trying to be ethically. So trying to conclude this financial analysis that confirm that our venture is profitable, responsible, and scalable. It's also balanced innovation. It's also balanced innovation, and it's trying to prove that that technological-driven entrepreneurship can create both financial and social impact. So now, trying to conclude this part, there is also an investment in responsibility with artificial intelligence. Especially our vision, as I mentioned before, is for trying to expand uh, globally from continuous AI model, trying to improving or trying to establish strategic and medical partnerships, and also trying to fostering a leading position in ethical product and tech innovation. So now I would like to conclude this advance from this project. That is, for example, this investment is also the project that is, for example, that is for tech, and also commerciality, and also fundamentally valuable. Also, the responsibility that is a commitment to ethical AI. You cannot create an AI without the permission that data that you are studying. So you're try to be stringent with the data privacy and trying to be very centered to design. And also trying to mention the impact that you also promote preventing health probably equitable access to essential monitoring tools. Then could be everyone be part from that. Well, I mentioned our vision that is from the refuted that is from 10 years. Well, this technological goals, but they can check. Well, trying to summarize everything that I mentioned before. To conclude this to now from chapter 5 that we have our financial analysis. We wants to confirm that this venture is profitable. It's also balance our innovation. And in other words, this business could be very a good idea because we are trying to make in a very good market research. So this giving a good step for it. Okay, thank you.